What is up guys, Ashbfc here for a quick review of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is the latest game in the main numbered Resident Evil series and takes the series in a slightly different direction. Now I had given up on the Resident Evil series quite a long time ago. I grew up playing the original survival horror games, Resident Evil 2 being my first game in the series, also my first survival horror game ever. I loved it. It also scared the absolute shit out of me, like seriously. But after Resident Evil 0, Capcom decided to take the series in a different direction. They wanted to appeal to the Call of Duty crowd, that's actually what they said, and they decided action was the way to go, completely ruining the series and shitting on all the fans. Resident Evil 5, and in particular 6, were an absolute disgrace to the series and a giant middle finger. It seemed Capcom had just no idea what to do with the series, and there was just no hope left. So I went into Resident Evil 7 expecting most likely that I was going to hate it. But I soon found out I was wrong. I was very, very wrong, because goddamn did I enjoy this game. So the story of the game has you playing as a civilian Ethan Winters, a new character of the series, who is drawn to a derelict plantation in Louisiana after receiving a message from his wife Mia, who has been missing for 3 years. Soon into the game, Ethan finds his wife, who's been imprisoned in the basement of a creepy old house. Only to find out there is something seriously wrong with her. She's gone a little bit mental, to say the least, and brutally attacks him.
You shouldn't have done that! It fucking hurts!
He then finds himself captured by the incredibly creepy Baker family, who are very fucked in the head. There's definitely something not right about those either.
What the hell?
Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's time for supper.
In fact, they don't quite seem human. But let's leave it there for spoiler's sake. Now, while Resident Evil 7 does take the series in somewhat of a different direction, at the same time, it's also quite a big return to its roots. The game is survival horror, as Resident Evil should be. So the game has you exploring from a first-person perspective, searching all around to find items, keys, and puzzles, just like we got in the good old days, and enemies to deal with along the way. So the game does give you some weapons to fight back against the enemies you'll be facing along the way, including the good old combat knife, a handgun, a shotgun, grenade launcher, flamethrower, and even at one point a goddamn chainsaw. But of course, this being survival horror, ammo is very limited and you will need to search to find it. The same goes for health items. And yes, we got the good old herbs in there. The game also sees the return of the item boxes, as you are limited to how much you can carry. So as you make your way through the game, slowly unfolding the story to find out what exactly is going on, and getting your keys and your items and your different weapons and all that good stuff, you'll be attacked by the Baker family, who act as bosses. And they're pretty goddamn cool and incredibly intimidating. So one of my favourite things about the game is definitely its atmosphere. It's really intense and will have you on the edge of your seats. Something I haven't felt since Alien Isolation. And I think it's great that the game just doesn't rely on jump scares. In fact, there's not actually that many jump scares in the game, which is good. It's all about the atmosphere. That's what too many horror games do now. They're just one-trick ponies. It's just jump scare after jump scare. I think that's boring. I think it's lazy. I think it sucks. And you know what else is great about the game? No QuickTime events! Oh, thank God! Seriously, fuck off with QuickTime events. I also love how brutal the game is. I mean, good God almighty. Now, while I was very happy to see the return of puzzles, I do wish there was some more of them. There's not that many, and for the most part, they're quite simple. You're not really going to get stuck on these. They are pretty easy, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have also liked to see a few different enemy types. It's mostly just the molded. There's just a few different variations of those. There's a giant waspy type thing, some little spiders that crawl around on doors and lockers, and that's mostly it really. There's no traditional zombies. That would have been nice to see zombies, so like the Crimson Heads or something, but you know, I'm not too fussed. But you know, I would have liked to have seen more enemy types. The game does start off very, very strong. Exploring the main house is the best part of the game. It's got such a great atmosphere. It's terrifying. It can have you on the edge, wondering when you're next going to get attacked by Jack. The game does definitely lose some steam towards the end. I thought it started to drag a little bit when you're on the ship and then the salt mines. Also, the end of the game I thought was quite weak. There's actually 2 different endings. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but both of them, they are pretty weak. But, you know. But I won't let a crappy ending ruin a game for me. Mass Effect 3. Overall, Resident Evil 7 is a great game and a great return to form for the series. It has somewhat restored my faith. I mean, let's see where we go from here. This is Capcom. But I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Just the fact that it went back to survival horror is just awesome, which is what many of us fans have been asking for a long time. Now, I personally would have preferred to play the game from a third-person perspective, like the old traditional Resident Evils, but I do admit, the first-person perspective did win me over, and I did enjoy it, and I wouldn't be too bothered if they decided to make more Resident Evils from a first-person perspective, because there are some advantages of playing the game from a first-person perspective. And as I said as well, it was great seeing the series go back to its roots with the puzzles, despite the fact that some of them were quite straightforward, and there wasn't a huge amounts of variation. And it doesn't just rely on jump scares, it's got a great atmosphere, which I think is a big part of a horror game. The game is kind of a blend of, you know, some of the old-school Resident Evil games and some more modern sort of horror titles, and it's a nice mix. It works well. Yeah, I was totally wrong about the game, you know. Capcom showed me. It turned out to be a great game, and yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. One of the better horror games in a long while. And as controversial as this may sound, I would actually rate this as the best Resident Evil since the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube. So yes, that does mean I'm saying this is better than Resident Evil 0, the last traditional survival horror game in the series, as well as Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I'm going to receive hell for that, but hey, that's my opinion. Now Capcom, keep this going. Keep it survival horror, because that's what Resident Evil is. Forget your action shits. Let's keep it horror. You brought the series back to form. Let's keep it this way. Finally be able to say something positive about a game in the Resident Evil series again. It's awesome. So, yeah. Check this game out if you're a fan of horror, better yet, survival horror. Resident Evil 7 is great. So there you go, guys, that's my very shitty quick review on Resident Evil 7. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.